sweet friends, and welcome back to Mary's Nest. Today we're making tomato sauce using fresh tomatoes. It's absolutely delicious, and it's so easy, no peeling, thanks to the food mill. You'll love it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you like learning how to cook from scratch, be sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell below. That'll let you know each time I upload a new video. Well, I've got about 8 pounds of Italian Roma tomatoes here. I've got 2 whole cloves, whole heads of garlic, and 6 onions. And this is the easiest recipe because there's no parboiling, no peeling, none of that. We're going to put it all into the stock pot. We're going to add a couple of cups of red wine, and we're just going to let it simmer. And after that, boom, into the food mill. And we crank it up just like we did with the applesauce. No peeling, nothing. Everything will be left behind in here, the peel, the seeds, the skins, and we're gonna have some beautiful tomato sauce. So let's get started. So what I'm gonna do is just toss these right into my stock pot. I've just got a big stock pot here. I took out a second one just in case, but I think I can get all of these in here. And as I said, I have about 8 pounds, and you can weigh these if you buy them at the grocery store, but if you're just getting them from your garden, about maybe about 10 of these Romas will equal about 2 pounds, I think. Something like that. But anyway, so we're just gonna get these right in, and then I'm gonna move this over to the side. And the nice thing about this is all I do is take the head of garlic and I'm just going to cut down like this. No need to peel, nothing. And now I'm just going to cut this second clove in half, and right in we go. And see, you just 1, 2, 3. All the cloves are exposed like that, skins and all. Just throw it right in. And then we're going to do the same with the onions. We're just going to give them a rough chop. I put this board up here. I use this one specifically for onions so I don't spread the aroma around too much. And that's it. And in skins and all, nothing more than a rough chop. It's almost in a way like when we make the beef bone broth, where we just and the chicken bone broth for that matter, we just throw everything in. Alrighty, I'm going to keep cutting these, and then we'll get ready to pour in the wine. Now I've got 2 cups of red wine here. You really can use anything you want. You can even just add water if you prefer. Or you can use, sometimes I use port because that's what I'll have. I normally don't have an open bottle of red wine, but I'll have a bottle of port, and that, you'll see they just come with the screw top when you buy those, and you can just keep that in your pantry for when you need red wine. I often use it when I make my bone broth. But here, so I've got some red wine today, so I'm just going to use this. Also, if you have red vermouth, or you can even use white vermouth. It's really very flexible, and as I said, you can also just go along and use water. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in, and I'm going to show you in the pot so you can see exactly what everything looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour all this wine in like this, and then what I'm going to do is add just a teaspoon of salt, and that's just to help the onions and the tomatoes and the garlic, just give them a little start to help start releasing their juices, so to speak. And so I'm just going to put this right on the burner, and I'm going to bring it up to a boil. I'm going to watch it because there's not a lot of liquid in here, and the wine is really to just get it going and also give some flavor as the alcohol cooks off. But you want to put a little something in, a little water, as I said, or some sort of liquid, just to help it, just to get it started and get it going. Then as it cooks, the onions and especially the tomatoes are going to release a lot of their liquid. And that's basically it. I'm just going to get a spoon here. I'm going to keep my eye on this and listen for, as I said, when it comes up to boil. And then I'm going to turn it down to low, and I'm just going to let it simmer. and everything's going to cook down beautifully. And then, you know, I'm starting this little before lunchtime, and then in a few hours it'll be ready it'll all be cooked down, and it'll be ready to go through the food mill. Well, I've been letting this simmer for about an hour, and you'll see that the tomatoes and the onions, the garlic, everything's broken down. The tomatoes have released all of their juices, and it's quite watery, but don't worry about that, because you're going to see what happens. Now, what I'm going to do is, so this has been simmering like this for an hour, and I'm going to bring you in closer so you can really see it. And I've had it on low with the lid on. Now I'm going to let it simmer for another hour on low also with the lid on, and continue to let everything cook and become really, really soft. Then after that, I'm going to let it simmer on low again, maybe, you know, it's always maybe a half an hour to an hour. It's always variable. It really depends on a lot of things. You know, how juicy the tomatoes were. Is it a dry day out? Is it a damp day? so many variables. But when we let it simmer with the lid off, then a lot of the liquid is going to evaporate, and it's going to concentrate and become thicker and darker in color, more, you know, deeper red. And at that point, then we'll remove it from the stove, and we'll let it cool a little bit, and then we'll run it through the food mill. And you're going to see the wonderful sauce that we're going to get in the end product. Alrighty, well that is that, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to take the lid off and let it simmer to allow for some of the evaporation. Well, I left this to simmer for another hour covered, and then after that I removed the lid and let it continue to simmer on low for about another hour. And now it's nice and thick. It's beautiful. I don't know if you can see, but I want you to see that still the onions and the tomatoes, everything's there. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to transfer. I'm going to bring this a little closer. I have my food mill in a bowl. Now normally, I'm doing this so you can see what I'm doing, but normally I would just put this over another stock pot that I have like this, so that I could do it in one fell swoop. Just keep turning it and get all the tomato sauce made. But I wanted to show it to you in this bowl so you could see how it looks when it comes out down on the bottom. So all you do is just transfer everything into your food mill. I'm just going to fill it up about halfway or so, and you'll see some of the liquid coming out the bottom, but that's fine. And then we're just going to keep filling this up. That's a good amount. May get a little more in there. Okay, and now I'm just going to crank this around, and we're going to see all the tomato sauce come out on the bottom. And you just keep cranking away, cranking, and then you just, you can go back if things get stuck, and you just keep going around and around like this until basically all of the moisture is out of the tomatoes and the onions and the garlic, and all you're going to be left with is the pulp, not even the pulp, but the skins of the onions and the tomatoes and everything, and I'll show you that when I get down to the bottom of it. Well, I finished processing all the tomatoes, onions, and garlic through the food mill, and now I have this beautiful sauce here that just looks wonderful. And what I like to do at the end is show you everything that was left behind in the food mill. I did this in the applesauce video as well, because I'm always so impressed with what the food mill can do. So basically here you just have like the onion skins and the tomato skins, and there's some tomato seeds, and all the stuff that you wouldn't want is left behind, and then you have this beautiful sauce. I'm just going to give it a little taste. You see how it came out. Oh, it's wonderful. Just delicious. And it's just a simple tomato sauce. And at this point, you can basically do whatever you want with it. You can add the herbs and spices that you want, oregano, basil, so on and so forth, a little hot red pepper if you wanted to make it a little spicy, depending on what you were going to use it for. But now you've just got your nice basic homemade tomato sauce from fresh tomatoes that either came from your garden or you can also buy them at the supermarket. For complete instructions on how to make this homemade tomato sauce from fresh tomatoes, be sure to check the description below where I'll put a link to the recipe. Well, that's all for today, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and be sure to click on the notification bell below. That'll let you know each time I upload a new video. And thank you so much for joining me here today, and I look forward to having you join me again right here in my Texas Hill Country kitchen. Love and God bless. Oh, before you go, if you enjoyed making fresh tomato sauce with me, I think you'll enjoy checking out these two videos also. Well, that's all for today, but remember, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.